Well, it started good and it ended good. I'm Joe Renton with my review of WWE NXT. There were some bad comedy moments, and trust me, I know something about bad comedy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So we have about 3,000 minutes of recaps from last week's events. Actually, it was just about, 2.5 to 3 minutes. Did I just hear myself say 3 minutes? And then we have Austin Theory with Johnny Gargano versus Cross with Scarlett. Reminder that I can't really stand the way outside of Indy Hartwell. I appreciate them for trying to make this work, but I just don't really care for Johnny Gargano or Candice trying to be funny heels. I don't think they have the personalities to pull that off. Indy Hartwell, though, did some really good shit last week. So, Cross was dressed like a gladiator from a 60s Italian movie, and I just couldn't unsee that. And it should have been a squash, but no. Gargano distracted after Theory had the shit beaten out of him. He got an eye rake and then did some good stuff, hit a couple moves. But Cross took over and immediately kept fisting him repeatedly, fisted him from behind and kept fisting and fisting. And trust me, when you take a nice, hard, satisfying fisting repeatedly from behind, you're going to stay down. Trust me, I know about this. Don't ask how. And that was pretty much it. It was a referee stoppage. It wasn't the only referee stoppage, but at least it made sense here. And smash cut to Balor being back there, right behind him, and is like, hey, I want my title shot. And Cross is like, yeah, I want to do this again, so we're going to do that again in 2 weeks specifically. So Leon Ruff wants to compete, and he's medically clear, but Regal says, no, you're a danger to yourself, basically, and then Ruff throws some paperwork around because he hates paperwork and I can identify, and then he will make his presence known later tonight. Msk versus Brezongo. Okay, cool. MSK wins, and the referee did a leapfrog spot, and I'm not sure why. Brezongo are good athletes. I just don't care about them as a team. And then, basically, Brezongo, possible tension between them. I mean, could I care? I probably could, but that would require me to care about a team that I haven't really cared about in a few years. And MSK says, hey, Wild Mendoza, we're not going to be hard to find. So far, so NXT. And then we have Gargano upset at William Regal because he has to face Bronson Reed next week for the NXT North American Championship and breaks his pencil in protest. Ouch, that sounds painful. NXT In Your House is back on June 13th. Todd Pettengill hosting. At least it's not like Sean Mooney. Who? Man, I love that line from Heenan. So, Pete Dunne is basically in the ring, knocking, carrying Cross forward, picking Finn Balor. And says, well, you wouldn't pick me, and that's because I can beat you, and somebody can come out and prove me wrong. So Leon Ruff, not medically cleared, says, fuck it, I'm going to defy William Regal, and that was his undoing. He did attack Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne looked at Oney Lorcan and said, okay, I'm going to slaughter this bitch, and basically does, even though Ruff gets in some shots. This is all about Pete giving Leon the most violent, rough fingering that you will ever see on the internet. Maybe the second most. You don't want to actually know about the first. Moving on. Always delete your search history, kids. And then beats him in a submission. That's pretty much it. So that's the second referee stoppage, essentially. So Escobar says he will beat Kushida tonight and become a 2-time champion. About that. So Frankie Monet is going to make her debut in the ring in 2 weeks. Cool. And then Balor versus Cross as well. Obviously, Cross is going to retain. I don't know what's going to happen to Balor after that. He may show up and win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Who the hell knows? I don't see him staying in NXT much longer. So, Mercedes Martinez versus Raquel Gonzalez, NXT Women's Championship. Good. 2 thumbs up for this. Well worked. Both these women worked hard. You could tell that Mercedes obviously is the veteran, but both these women are extremely powerful. Some good hard shots here. Some power, submission-based wrestling because they were trying to grind down each other. And nice, twist suplex off the ropes. And then the spear on the apron. I'm not exactly sure why. That was a bit awkward, but I got what they were trying to go for. Martinez beating off Gonzalez. Have fun unseeing that. Or have fun seeing that. I'm not here to judge. And there were some good, near falls. There was some, some good fisting action because who doesn't love nice fisting action between 2 women? And Fisherman Buster for 2. Some nice knee strikes. Actually, it looked like Martinez might pull off the shocking upset. Obviously, she wasn't gonna. Big boot, 1-arm bomb, 1, 2, 3. Good stuff from the women. I enjoyed this. This is where the show was shining. Even though I didn't really care about Brezongo being in that match, the match was well worked. And then, fucking Christ, things just came down dramatically after that. First, Swerve and his group arrived and knocked over the cameraman. Get your vaccine today, unless you don't believe in science and you're a fucking idiot, and get the fuck off my goddamn channel. Fuck. Get educated, you goddamn idiots. Vaccines actually do save lives, believe it or not. Science, bitches. Hail science! Anyway, So Gargano, in theory, took down Reed, or tried to, and Reed says he's a dead man. It's the theory of the dead man, if you will. Oh, God, please don't bring back Undertaker. So Swerve's group, Hit Row, are here. Oh, boy, I love Swerve, and I really hope this works, but my fucking goodness, this was stinky. Holy shit. That Francis guy, he tried to do stuff. I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do. Ashante D. Adonis, I believe that's the name. He was all right. And then you have, I didn't even catch her name. Brianna something. I actually didn't fully catch it. So, okay, they tried to do some stuff that may or may not have been fully scripted, but ooh, this was awkward. They were jumping over each other's lines. This was not good. I don't mind making Swerve more of a dastardly heel and giving him a group. This was not a good first impression. This was really not that good. Now, hopefully it'll work out. Hit Row, it probably will go better than the last Saints Row game, but not the best first impression in my personal opinion. So, then we get an auction house segment with Cameron Grimes, and Ted DiBiase buys a house from him by betting more money because he's Ted DiBiase. He's the multi-million-dollar man, and this feud will not goddamn die. My question is, what is this leading to? Is Ted DiBiase Jr. going to return to the business? Are they going to bring in Ted DiBiase's other son into wrestling? Oh, they can't. Because of a certain thing going on in Mississippi. Read up on it, kids. You'll know what the hell I'm talking about. Not very good. Shows why sometimes maybe people doing charity work are actually not being very charitable. You, my friend, are no $1 million man. Just why is this continuing? I have not found this fun. I don't mind entertainment in wrestling. You have to have a mixture of backstage segments and stuff. This wasn't very good. So Zoe talks about Tony, and they recapped how Tony says that Zoe's losing her taste. How would she know how Zoe tastes like? Oh boy! How would she know what she tastes like? Well, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to find out, but moving on. Next week, they're going to have a match. Oney Lorcan with Pete Dunne versus O'Reilly. O'Dunley? No, that's not how that works. Something good, hard-hitting, and these guys laid their shit in. Some good chops, some really good stuff. O'Reilly O'Reilly gets fisted, from behind, going to break. See, you never turn your back on your opponent in the ring or in life, or otherwise you're going to get fisted from behind, and it's all going to be over, folks. Man, I've had fisting on the brain lately. What am I even on about? Chops were laid in after that. A knee drop off the top. 1, 2, 3. Well-worked match. Dunne attacks, and then Bobby Fish shows back up, and he's injured again. I know Bobby Fish is a really good wrestler. Questionable views, if you know what the fuck I mean. But O'Reilly's like, hey, I'm doing my own thing. Well, that's okay. I got issues with them, so I'll see you when I see you. Okay? At least they cemented the fact that, the Undisputed Era is done. They're over! The Way has comic book stuff. Cool. Yay. Good. This is exactly what I wanted to fucking see. Look, I like Indy, and the others are good wrestlers. I just don't fucking care about this stable. Anyway, Reed gets Gargano in a cage. I sense shenanigans in the Force. Escobar with Legoland Phantasm versus Kushida. Cruiserweight Championship, 2 out of 3 falls, and MSK run in and take out the Goons, and it's 1-on-1. Is it bad that I both respected this match and enjoyed it, but also didn't kind of care because I think this feud's just been kind of there, in all honesty? It did start good and did end good because this was a good match. It was well wrestled. I just have a hard time caring about some of these feuds when they're supposed to be big matches. But since it was 2 out of 3 falls, it was well worked. Phantom Driver, 1, 2, 3. And then Kushida gets an instant arm breaker on to make it 1-1. And then they go through the break and do stuff, get some good near falls. The hoverboard locks on. Oh no, what the hell's going to happen? He doesn't tap out, Escobar doesn't. And then even though it looked like Escobar might hit the Phantom Driver, nope. Bridge pin, 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's it. Kushida retains the Cruiserweight Championship. Who's his next challenger? Hell, maybe Tony Nese. Tony Nese is backstage and apparently has competed on 205 Live, which explains why I haven't fucking seen him. The former Alex Zane, now Ari Sterling, I believe is what his name is. He's competed on 205 Live. I did watch that, and I love Alex Zane. Got to see him at a couple indie shows, and the guy is going to do great things in WWE. Overall, the show was okay. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.